This trick is called beasting and it looks like this. So before you learn this trick, you're actually going to want to go back and learn the tricks 360 and half beasting. We have videos for both of those on our website, and it's really important that you learn those tricks because all that beasting is just a 360 and a half beasting put together, but with the catch between the two removed. So to start beasting, you're going to want to start in a trapeze, and then you want to check your string proportions. So bring your throw hand up, and if you remember back to our 360 video, you'll know that we said that the string above your non-throw hand should be about twice as long as the string under your non-throw hand. But for beasting, we're actually going to increase those proportions a little bit so that the string above your non-throw hand is about 3 times as long as the string below your non-throw hand. That just gets the yo-yo a little bit closer to your non-throw hand, so the trick will be easier to perform. Once your string proportions are correct, you want to perform a 360, but rather than catching that counterweight, instead, right when the counterweight reaches this point in its arc, right where you would catch it, you're going to stick out your middle finger and hop the yo-yo over so that the counterweight string can come under and hook under the yo-yo just like it would in a half beasting. So that's 360, stick out your middle finger, half beasting. If you want to add a little bit of extra flair to the end of the trick, when you're performing that half beasting, instead of catching the counterweight, instead you can not catch it and let it continue around and then perform a small clockwise circular motion with your non-throw hand. And that's going to add an extra revolution to the counterweight and an extra pinwheel to the yo-yo. And that looks like this. So there's that small circular motion, and then you'll see that the yo-yo naturally goes back into a trapeze, and then I can go into an undermount and perform a bind. If you're having a hard time learning this trick, there's a couple of tips I have for you. The first is to make sure that when you're first doing that 360, that the yo-yo is really close to your non-throw hand. If it's too close to the counterweight and you try to perform the trick, the string proportions are going to make the trick much more difficult to perform. The second tip is because during beasting you're only ever actually touching the counterweight at the beginning and at the end of the trick, it's really important that right from the get-go, right from the start, that everything is nice and lined up. If the counterweight is too far ahead or behind of the yo-yo, then you're not really able to compensate for that while you're performing the trick. So it's really important that right from that initial 360 that everything is nice and lined up. And that makes learning this trick much easier. And that is beasting.